And ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the 62nd Annual Armed Forces Day Parade. The parade, with the arrival of the Torrance Police Motor Detail, has now officially begun. Introducing the Torrance Police Department Motor Detail. Ladies and gentlemen, this detail was established in 1928, and the City of Torrance was one of the first agencies in Los Angeles County to adopt a motor detail. Torrance Police Department motor detail duties include traffic enforcement, DUI enforcement, and fighting crime within the City of Torrance. Today, they're being assisted by the motor officers from the cities of Hawthorne and El Segundo. A round of applause for the motor detail, please. In the distance, you see marching toward us, Joint Services Color Guard.
Hi, I'm Captain Caitlin Robinson with the Los Angeles Air Force Base Delta 3, and I'm helping out with the Air Force this year for the parade. We're so excited to help and support the Space Force being the lead branch this year, as well as honor our Honorary Grand Marshal, Colonel Hopkins, who's the first Guardian astronaut in space.
As I mentioned, the post successor to the T-6 trainer, in service for about 2 decades, both Air Force and Navy, flying these planes, receiving primary training. It's taught them to do the things they do in the modern planes. And once again, a warm welcome to the Joint Services Color Guard, please. Commanded by First Class Sergeant Nicola De Negro. National Colors, presented by Specialist Trayvon Martin. Trayvon Morgan. The United States Army Colors, presented by SPC Miguel Garcia. United States Marine Corps flag, presented by Sergeant Alexander Ogan. United States Navy flag by Master at Arms Petty Officer 2nd Class Avery Moore. Air Force flag, presented by Airman 1st Class Alicia Ramirez. United States Coast Guard flag, presented by Petty Officer 3rd Class Jean-Paul Santana Solis. United States Space Force colors, presented by Captain Roberto Amaya. Guard protecting the left of the national colors, Sergeant Luis Vasquez Alvarez, United States Army. And the guard on the right is Captain Jose Aviles, United States Space Force. This is the Joint Services Color Guard. And our Grand Marshal of the 62nd Annual Torrance Armed Forces Day Parade, Lieutenant General Philip Garrant, serving as Commander of the United States Space Systems Command, headquartered at Air Force Base Los Angeles, El Segundo, California. Round of applause, please. He's accompanied by his wife, Heather. Lieutenant General Garrant, responsible for more than 15,000 military, civilian, contractor personnel worldwide, overseeing the Department of Defense annual space budget of $15.6 billion. Our Honorary Grand Marshal. Up next, this year's Honorary Grand Marshal, retired United States Space Force Colonel Michael Hopkins. Selected by NASA as an astronaut in 2009. He transferred from the Air Force to the Space Force while in orbit at the International Space Station during a NASA mission in 2020, making him the first ever Space Force Guardian astronaut. And prior to his retirement, the Missouri native most recently served as commander of the Crew 1 SpaceX Crew Dragon named Resilience, May 2nd, 2021, joined by his spouse, Julie. And a thank you once again to our Honorary Grand Marshal for being here. United States Space Force Colonel Michael Hopkins. Ladies and gentlemen, in the distance we can see one of those T-6 Texans, presumably making a second. The 300th Army Band, under the direction of Chief Warrant Officer 3 Jeff Smith, traveling coast to coast and abroad. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to Mayor George Chen. Elected to the City Council June 5th, 2018, elected Mayor June 7th, 2022. A resident of Torrance for 32 years. Riding with him today is wife, Amy Chen. A warm welcome for Councilmember Bridget Lewis. Appointed to the City Council in 2022, elected to a full term in 2024, a resident of Torrance since 2005. And Councilmember Assam Sheikh. Elected to the City Council June 7th, 2022, Councilmember Sheikh, a resident of Torrance for 15 years, riding with him today, spouse Jill Bonilla and their son Jonathan Bonilla, daughter Sarah Sheikh. Councilmember Sharon Kalani. Elected City Council March 2020, re-elected March 2024, representing the 4th District. Councilmember Kalani's been a resident of Torrance for 43 years and riding with her today, her spouse Omid Kalani, daughter Natasha Kalani, and grandson Jackson McNerney. Councilmember Aurelio Matucci, ladies and gentlemen, round of applause. Elected to the City Council June 2018, re-elected June 2022, a resident of Torrance for 20+ years. Councilmember Dr. Jeremy Garrison. Elected to the council in 2024, March 5th, Dr. Garrison, a resident of Torrance for 38 years, riding with him today, his wife, Dr. Jennifer Garrison, and their daughter Aurora, their son William, a Torrance High School graduate. And once again, our city clerk, Rebecca Poirier. Thank you so much for joining us at the parade. First elected June 2014, re-elected 2018 and 2022. A resident of Torrance for 16 years, riding with her today, friends Janet Payne and Debbie Hayes. Ladies and gentlemen, our city treasurer, Tim Goodrich, a former 2-term City of Torrance council member, elected city treasurer June 2022. City Treasurer Goodrich is a United States Air Force veteran, have been a resident of Torrance for 17 years.
Hi, I'm Michiko Riley, Public Affairs for Space Systems Command at Los Angeles Air Force Base in El Segundo. I just want to say thank you to all the members of the City of Torrance, the city officials for being so kind and welcome to our service members stationed at El Segundo. Many of our families live in Torrance. The children go to Torrance schools, so we can't thank you enough for this great honor.
As we welcome a congressman serving his 5th term in Congress, Congressman Ted Lieu, formerly serving on the California State Legislature, on the Torrance City Council as well. He also serves in the United States Air Force on active duty as a member of the Air Force Reserves. Mr. Lieu, thank you, sir, for your service. Round of applause, please. Ladies and gentlemen, Senator Stephen Bradford. Senator Stephen Bradford, honored to salute our U.S. veterans and those who currently serve for their service and unwavering dedication to protecting our liberties and freedom. Elected to the State Senate 2016, representing the 35th Senate District. Senator Ben Allen. California State Senator Ben Allen, representing the 24th Senate District, covering the West Side, Hollywood, South Bay, Santa Monica Mountains. Elected in 2014, now serving his 3rd and final term in the Senate. And Ms. Hagel Taniguchi, Torrance's sister, and Colonel Mia Walsh, this year's senior ranking flag officer for the U.S. Space Force, Commander of Space Base Delta III at Los Angeles Air Force Base, leading 5 squadrons, 6 staff agencies supporting over 7,000 personnel. Colonel Walsh manages $1 billion in physical plant assets, executes an annual $61.4 million budget. They support the U.S. Space Force by providing medical services, civil engineering, communication, and many other Department of Defense units. Ladies and gentlemen, Major General Kurt Taylor, United States Army, graduating from the United States Military Academy at West Point in May of 1994, commissioned as a lieutenant in the Armor Branch. For the last 25 years actually, he's served in various command and staff positions, armored, cavalry, infantry, right up through brigade combat team. Major General Taylor has 2 master's degrees in security studies, married to his wife Jennifer. Since 1994, they have 2 daughters. Another round of applause, please, for Major General Kurt Taylor. Ladies and gentlemen, Major General Michael J. Leaney. Major General Leaney, commander of the 40th Infantry Division, attending the Virginia Military Institute in Lexington, commissioned as a second lieutenant of field artillery in 1988, branch qualified infantry, air defense, armor. Major General Leaney also holds a master's degree in strategic studies from the U.S. Army War College. Numerous assignments during his tenure in the Army National Guard. In the last decade, assuming the duties of Chief of Staff, 40th Infantry Division. Back in August of 2014, served in that position until deployment, May 2018. Signed the Commanding General, 40th Infantry Division in May 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, Rear Admiral Scott Ruston. Rear Admiral Scott Ruston, a native of Rancho Palos Verdes, California, holding a PhD in critical studies from the University of Southern California, a graduate, both the Air Command and the Staff College, the Joint Forces Staff College. Naval aviator. Rear Admiral Ruston, flown over 3,000 flight hours. Served in various staff and operational tours, including NATO Allied Command Transformation. Colonel Michelle Idle, ladies and gentlemen, United States Air Force. The 62nd Annual Torrance Armed Forces Day Parade Senior Ranking Flag Officer for the United States Air Force, Colonel Michelle Idle. Deputy Commander for Space Systems Command, headquartered at Los Angeles Air Force Base. Colonel Idle is responsible for organizing, training, equipping the command's leadership team, overall workforce as well, ensuring they execute their mission. Her role helps to shape the United States Space Force Field Command so that it's positioned to ensure our nation's space superiority. Ladies and gentlemen, Rear Admiral Andrew Sugimoto. This is the Coast Guard's 11th District Commander, Admiral Sugimoto, overseeing the safety, security, law enforcement, and environmental stewardship operations, the California-Oregon border to Peru, including Arizona, Utah, and Nevada. An illustrious career, both afloat and ashore.
Hi, I'm Richard Ranger, and I'm a petty officer with the United States Coast Guard, and thank you for watching the Armed Forces Day Parade, and it is great to be here. Thank you for supporting the Coast Guard as well as all the armed forces, and I know that it is great to be here at the parade. I'll never forget last year's parade when we were the honored service and got to see our Master Chief get promoted to Master Chief of the Coast Guard, and it was quite a good memory.
And ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome and a salute to all the Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, and volunteers who are helping with this year's parade. You see them before you. Ladies and gentlemen, approaching the stage, the West High Entertainment Unit. This is one of the most traveled musical organizations in the western United States, performing in over 20 countries, in addition to multiple performances in the Tournament of Roses Parade, Pasadena, Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and the Thanksgiving Day Parade in Philadelphia. A warm welcome to the West High Entertainment Unit.
Hi, I'm Rick Horner. I'm with the Coast Guard Auxiliary. We are the civilian volunteers that are involved with boater safety. You see us in every marina, and we assist the Coast Guard in their functions and duties. That's our job. This is going to be an exciting event. We were the featured branch of the Coast Guard last year. This year we'll have almost the same footprint with all kinds of assets to look at. We'll be at the exhibit hall. So an exciting event, the oldest, longest running the Armed Forces Parade here in Torrance. Very prestigious event. I hope you come down and see us.
Ladies and gentlemen, the West High Entertainment Unit. Consistently receiving top honors in competitions throughout Southern California. Just recently, winning the Sweepstakes Award for Music, Percussion, and Band at the Los Altos Field Tournament in November. A decorated group, to say the least. Our World War II veterans. World War II veterans riding in the parade are from all branches of the military, 95 to 100 years old. They have served our country in Iwo Jima, Okinawa, Pearl Harbor, Guadalcanal, Normandy, keeping America free. Ralph DeLibero, serving in the Navy. Leroy Forehand, also in the Navy. Charles Deemer, working as a merchant marine. Today, Mr. Deemer is accompanied by his daughter, Ellen Deemer White, also a veteran of the U.S. Navy. Leon Silverman, Navy Seaman First Class, company storekeeper. Jim Olson, Michael McKenney, Bob Downing. These are just a few of the names that you see passing before you as we speak. Joseph DeMills as well, a retired Air Force major, a P-38 fighter pilot, stationed in Italy. Arthur Ho, serving as a staff sergeant in the Army, 101 years old. Arthur Ho. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to remember our World War II veterans: Russell Mayer, Harry Wilson, Bob Sellers, Merle Moore, Norm Haraldson, Glenn Clanan, and all the others that we've lost. God bless our heroes. Round of applause, please. More of our World War II veterans, thank you for your service. We salute you. Ladies and gentlemen, the Montford Point Marine Association. Montford Point Marines, beginning on June 1st, 1942. Executive Order 8802, requiring the armed forces to recruit and enlist African Americans. And this morning, Torrance Area Chamber of Commerce and UCLA Health hosting the 5K Run Walk. Round of applause for the winners of the 5K Run Walk. And overhead, a Mitchell North American B-25 PBJ Mitchell bomber. The PBJ Mitchell, during World War II, the Marine Corps operating surplus Mitchells with the designation PB for patrol bomber. The Marines use these aircraft extensively in the South Pacific. By the way, this is the only flying B-25 Marine Corps bomber flying today. She hails from the Commemorative Air Force in Camarillo. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome a few of our Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, auxiliary, heralding in the Veterans of Foreign Wars District 4. 4th District Veterans of Foreign Wars, its auxiliary as well, with 4th District Commander Rob Hernandez, 4th District President Cherie Bryant. Once again, the B-25 PBJ Mitchell bomber. Ladies and gentlemen, the Vietnam Veterans of America, South Bay Chapter 53. Thrilled once again to be participating in this great Torrance Armed Forces Day Parade.
The Moffett Point Marine Association is the first black organization for the first black Marines. Up until 1942, blacks were not allowed to serve in the United States Marine Corps. In 1942, the president signed an executive order saying that they had to integrate the Marine Corps. The Marine Corps then created a recruit training for them called Moffett Point Camp, and approximately 20,000 black males went to boot camp there up until 1949. We have carried on the legacy and trying to carry on the legacy of the Moffett Point Marines and keep the heritage of them going, so that we can probably be recognized, such as the Red Tails of the Tuskegee Airmen, the Buffalo Soldiers, so on and so on. The organization was presented the Congressional Gold Medal for Service by the President of the United States in 2012.
As you see now, approaching the podium, the Republic of Vietnam Armed Forces veterans. This is the color guard.
Congressional Gold Medals and their families.
Republic of Vietnam
Yes,
Armed Forces Veterans Association,
all
representing
of this is
all
important to us as far
Vietnam
as
Armed Forces
having this
participating in the
event
Vietnam
to
War.
recognize military, those who have served and those who have put their lives on the line.
Ladies and gentlemen, more than 350,000 of these soldiers sacrificed their lives, together with 58,000 U.S. soldiers and over 6,000 soldiers of Allied forces in the Vietnam War. Thousands of soldiers are still, as you well know, unaccounted for. And the color guard here, representing and honoring all the soldiers who sacrificed their lives for the cause of freedom. This group, by the way, participates in many of the parades and community services, helping their veterans and showing us their commitment to the military year after year, undyingly. Another classic aircraft overhead, we'll identify them in a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bob Hope USO. Since 1941, the USO has been lifting the spirits of America's troops, strengthening the well-being of people serving in America's military and their families. The Bob Hope USO. This is a private, non-profit organization operating centers at LAX, Ontario, Fort Irwin, Palm Springs, and 29 Palms, and March Air Reserve Base, providing USO programs and services to troops and their families at more than 36 major and auxiliary military installations across 51,000 square miles of Central and Southern California, the Bob Hope USO.
I am
Ladies
Sergeant
and gentlemen,
Major
marching
Bernard
into
Nelly.
place
I am the
before
G3
you,
Operations Sergeant Major at the United States Army
the
Training
several
Center at
brave
Fort Lauderdale,
young men
California,
and women
and I'm
preparing
glad
to
be
join
here
all of the
support
various branches of the United States military.
Army Day Parade. The best part
This
I like about this parade
continues
is how
to be one of the
all armed forces
largest
come
mass
together and
oath of
support
enlistment
this strategic
ceremonies
event.
conducted
There are
publicly.
future, soldiers that's about to
A valued
join
tradition
the army.
of the Torrance Armed Forces Day Parade.
Hi, I'm Major Ray Couchet.
At a time when our
Chief of
nation's been
Operations,
supporting democracy
U.S. Army
around the
National
globe,
Training Center in
especially
Fort
fitting.
Irwin. I am excited
We
to be
recognize the
here in
sacrifices
support
of these young
62nd
men and women
Annual
before
Armed
you
Forces Day Parade here
are
in
willing to make in
Torrance.
defense of our
My
great nation.
most
Vowing
interesting
to
moment
support and
is
defend
the
the
actual parade
Constitution of the United States of
showcasing
America
equipment that
against all
we
enemies,
use at the
foreign
National
and
Training
domestic.
Center to include tanks,
And they're going to do it before your very eyes.
JLTV,
Truly the cream of
Black
the crop of
Hawk,
our society.
and other Army equipment that we are showcasing to our community.
And ladies and gentlemen, performing the oath of enlistment, our Grand Marshal, Lieutenant General Philip Garrant.
Please raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the orders of the officers appointed above me, according to the regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God. Congratulations.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the mass oath of enlistment. These brave men and women before you, representing less than 1% of all eligible men and women in this nation, continuing the honored tradition of defending the freedoms that we've enjoyed in this nation for over 239 years. They are now part of our armed forces, serving us. And a thank you once again to our Grand Marshal, Lieutenant General Philip Garrant. Ladies and gentlemen, leading off Division 1, the Bishop Montgomery High School Thunder by night marching music. Proudly celebrating our servicemen and women today under the direction of Eric Hanley, coaches Jacob White, Jillian Flom, Austin Cow. Thundering Knights are led by drum majors Diego Bagoaga and Patrick Lim, color guard captains Denise Flores and Diana Plata. Go Knights, welcome to the Bishop Montgomery High School Thunder. And as we listen to Bishop Montgomery, United States Air Force Chaplain Major Emmanuel Okorocha, serving as the Delta Chaplain for Space Base Delta 3, Los Angeles Air Force Base, El Segundo, leading the Chaplain Corps. And following Chaplain Okorocha, United States Space Force Guardian Parade Flight, This is our branch of distinction today, ladies and gentlemen, the U.S. Space Force.
Hello, I'm Captain Jonathan Waller in the United States Space Force. I am in the Space Systems Command, and it is a rapidly changing field of the military. I'm very excited to get to work with you guys for this parade in the city that we love, Torrance.
As well as position, navigation, timing. The actions they're taking today make the world a better space for tomorrow. And this flight of Space Force Guardians is led by Chief Master Sergeant Jacqueline Sauvé, Senior Enlisted Leader for Space Force Command and Guide and Bearer, Master Sergeant Jessica McCadney, First Sergeant for Systems Command, United States Space Force. You'll also notice that the vehicle they're riding in represents one of the Space Force satellites. Some of these are GPS satellites, 31 GPS satellites actually in orbit. Originally, military navigation, now used for civilian purposes. Our nation's unblinking eye in space. Straight overhead, the Coast Guard Delphine, ladies and gentlemen. The float you see before you is the Wide Field of View Missile Warning Satellite, WFOV, alerting us immediately if an adversarial missile is headed toward the United States, known as our nation's unblinking eye in the sky. And approaching is the space-based infrared system. That's our final satellite here today. This is the SBIRS system, they call it, managed by the United States Space Force's Space Systems Command, enabling troops to rapidly respond to the threats in space and on the ground. And by the way, driving the Space Force's SBIRS satellite float is Major Anthony Gentry, the 2023 Polaris Annual Award winner for commitment. Round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, the North High School Saxon Regiment Marching Band and Color Guard. The North High School Saxon Regiment Band and Color Guard. These are students from North High Band's Winds, Percussion, and Color Guard sections, performing in school events, football games, and by the way, on November 19th in 2023, they took first place in Division 2A at the Western Band Association Championships, Sacramento. Best music, best effect. We're honored to have them here once again. Ladies and gentlemen, leading the charge for the National Training Center is the 11th Armored Cavalry Regiment's Horse Detachment. The Horse Detachment, established August 2000 as a special ceremonial unit of the 11th ACR Fort Irwin, California. 11th ACR Horse Detachment representing the Black Horse Regiment, Fort Irwin, the U.S. Cavalry, and the U.S. Army. Currently, its mission is keeping the history and the traditions of the cavalry alive in support of military services, community relations, recruiting efforts, and cavalry competitions.
Hi, I'm Captain Dave Richards with the 11th ACR Horse Detachment, here representing the United States Army, based out of the National Training Center at Fort Irwin. I'm just here to tell everyone today my unique experience in the Army. I get paid every day to come in and ride horses for the Army and keep the original horse-mounted cavalry spirit alive. True testament of, in the Army, you really can be all you can be.
The 11th ACR Combat Patrol, the United States Army Infantry Platoon, These are dismounted infantrymen of the 11th Armored Cavalry Regiment. Soldiers demonstrating the wedge maneuver formation, the basic formation for dismounted elements. The rifle squad you see before you, consisting of 2 four-man fire teams, each fire team comprised of a fire team leader, automatic rifleman, grenadier, and a grenade launcher rifleman out of the 11th ACR. By the way, in the group you just saw pass by, dismounted infantrymen.
Good afternoon. My name is Sergeant Robert McIntosh. I'm the Training and Operations Non-Commissioned Officer with the 222nd Broadcast Operations Detachment out in Bell, California. We are a U.S. Army Reserve Public Affairs unit, and I want to give a special shout out to the soldiers in my unit, the soldiers of the 201st Theater Public Affairs Support Element, which is our battalion, and of course my command, the 63rd Readiness Division. I also want to give a special shout out to the soldiers in the 201st that are overseas at this moment. They're doing a lot of great things, and the soldiers back home are also doing a lot of great things to promote public affairs and tell the Army story as a whole.
Saw them walk by with, used in combat, protect the flanks, also to be able to close the unit for defense purposes. A stalwart member of the parade here. And hopefully we'll see them every year. Often we see the machinery coming by and we notice from war coverage the machines that are used for. These are the actual veterans and enlisted people who carry out those operations, showing us what actually happens on the ground. Time-tested techniques. The job of keeping America safe is complicated, intricate, well-trained, and we're very happy to be able to witness it here today. More members of the 11th ACR. Another round of applause for the 11th ACR Combat Patrol, dismounted. And this is once again the wedge maneuver formation. Ladies and gentlemen, United States Army M1151 General Port Purpose Humvee. The M1151 Enhanced Armament Carrier, an improved version of the standard Humvee. A 4-man vehicle used for a variety of missions from command control to armed patrol, specifically designed for use over all kinds of roads as well as cross-country terrain, and in all weather conditions without sacrificing mobility, dependability, or performance. Ladies and gentlemen, the United States Army JLTV Joint Light Tactical Vehicle. And riding on top is the Honorable Mario Garrant, sworn in by Army Secretary Eric Fanning, currently serving as civilian aide to the Secretary of the Army, carrying a 3-star protocol. Round of applause for the Honorable Mario Garrant. The vehicle in which he's riding is a 1278 JLTV, supporting mobility, reliability, manageability within weight limits, ensuring tactical transport to and from the battlefield. It's a vehicle which is capable of performing multiple mission roles. Protected sustained network mobility. And this is for personnel and payloads across the full spectrum of military operation. The MRZR light tactical vehicle before you. This is the MRZR Alpha. It's a new light tactical vehicle delivering superior off-road maneuverability. This is for special forces, expeditionary forces as well. And the United States Army M997A2 Humvee ambulance. Used as an ambulance on the battlefield. It can carry 4 litter patients or ambulatory patients, providing mobility for emergency situations and a quick link between battlefield and emergency services. That M997A2 has been in service in the United States Army since April 2nd, 1985. The tank you see approaching is the U.S. Army M1A2 main battle tank, also known as a SEP V3 Abrams tank. Ladies and gentlemen, this tank is the backbone of the armed forces in the United States military, serving several U.S. allies as well. The purpose, providing mobile firepower. And ladies and gentlemen, United States Army M88 heavy recovery vehicle. This is also known as the Hercules. It's a heavy equipment recovery combat lift and evacuation vehicle. It's a 70-ton recovery system operating during Operation Iraqi Freedom, utilizing a hull designed for recovery missions. It has stability and performance unmatched by any alternate tank-based design, M88, offering operational and logistics commonality with the existing tank fleet. And that simplifies training and parts availability. And marching into place before us, United States Army Corps of Engineers. Los Angeles District of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, responsible for more than 250,000 square miles in 4 states, California, Arizona, Nevada, and Utah, protecting 420 miles of shoreline from Morro Bay to the Mexican border. Also supporting 9 military bases established in 1989. They do flood damage reduction, navigation, environmental restoration, emergency operations. And you see their mascot there, their water safety dog, Bobber. And listen up, kids. Bobber wants all children to be safe in and around the water, so here's what he wants to remind you of. Learn to swim well, don't swim in water over your head, always have an adult with you, and wear a life jacket. So says Bobber. And of course, joining Bobber is the Los Angeles District 66 Commander, Colonel Andrew Baker, and Deputy Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Stephen Brooks, accompanied by park rangers and their utility task vehicle. Followed close on their heels, ladies and gentlemen, by the Army National Guard M1277 Mat V. The Mat V is an armored hull Plazin design, developed by Northrop Grumman and Oshkosh Technology Development. It has a V-shaped hull, optimized for IED protection. Other aids on that vehicle include the ability to take a 7.62 millimeter round to the engine, oil, coolant, or hydraulic system, and they can still drive for at least 1 kilometer. And ladies and gentlemen, approaching the podium, the North Torrance High School Army JROTC. North High School JROTC program obtaining the Honor Unit with Distinction designation since the year 2000. Round of applause, please. The Honor Unit with Distinction designation is an award only given to 10% of Army JROTC programs worldwide. Currently run by Senior Army Instructor Lieutenant Colonel Nolan Flores and Army Instructor Command Sergeant Major Michael Baker. And right on their heels, the South High Spartan Band and Color Guard. South High Spartan Band and Color Guard, an award-winning program. They compete in the fall season at local field circuit shows, and last year they placed 8th in the state of California at the California State Band Championships. This band is under direction of Caitlin Brock, student leadership including drum major John Milo Ernst and assistants Olivia Cho and Justin Cabal. United States Navy Jeep, ladies and gentlemen. Leading the way for the quarterdeck group, a beautifully restored scale model of a 1946 U.S. Navy duty Jeep. Driven by Commander Dave Rupp, retired, accompanied by Kelly Mouchenet, both from the Redondo Beach American Legion. Kelly says hello, welcome to all the veterans and their families on this Armed Forces Day weekend. Round of applause for Dave and Kelly. Ladies and gentlemen, also from the quarterdeck group, once again, presenting, displaying a Torrance treasure, the 40-foot scale model of the battleship USS Nevada. This is a tribute to the men and women of our armed forces of the past, now, and in the future. Mr. Dennis LaFranco driving. Please put your hands together for the USS Nevada. Hot on the heels of the Nevada, United States Marine Corps, 5th Battalion, 14 Marines, Battery N. These are the Marines of the 5th Battalion, 14th Marines. Battery N out of Seal Beach, California, towing a medium lightweight M777A2 with an MTVR, better known as a 7-ton. This is known as the King of Battle. And ladies and gentlemen, approaching the podium, we see once again, some of the young volunteers that are helping us. And we value their contribution, we value their dedication. Learning at a young age what's important, and being here for us today. The man they're heralding toward the stage is an icon of the Vietnam War and Desert Shield and Desert Storm during the Gulf War. United States Marine Corps retired Ernest Gunny Napper. Gunny, as he's called, Gunnery Sergeant Napper, serving in those wars, retired last year from Disneyland, where he honored our veterans for 30 years at the Disneyland Flag Retreat ceremony. His story, by the way, is on display at the Smithsonian. Ernest Gunny Napper. Gunny now conducts a flag retreat ceremony at the Walt Disney Carrowood Barn in Griffith Park, and riding with him today is Bob Emsel, a Korean War veteran, and his wife, Susan. And by the way, that display at the Smithsonian honoring Gunny Napper will be on display as part of the Disneyland exhibit for 1 year. So if you happen to make it out there, truly a war hero in our midst. Ladies and gentlemen, approaching the stage, the Richardson Middle School Band and Color Guard. They are from Torrance, California. Pleased again to be making their annual appearance in the Armed Forces Day Parade. All students performing are from grades 6th, 7th, and 8th. The musical selection is the Billboard March by John Clore. Ladies and gentlemen, the Richardson Middle School Band and Color Guard. And now, United States Air Force Base Los Angeles Marching Unit. Our United States Air Force Airmen, led by Chief Master Sergeant Sarah Morgan, Senior Enlisted Leader for Space Base Delta 3, and Guidon Bearer Master Sergeant Ryan Gava, First Sergeant for Space Base Delta 3 from Los Angeles Air Force Base. The mission of these airmen: providing superior installation and community support services, enabling the delivery of lethal and resilient space capabilities for national defense. United States Air Force 369 RCS, ladies and gentlemen. Active recruiting station right here at the Del Amo Mall, proudly displaying their wrapped Ford Expeditions and a Ford F-350. Instrumental in supporting the mission of recruiting at numerous events across the area for the Air Force. And the flags of our great nation and state are presented today by the cadets of St. Catherine's Academy. St. Catherine's is a Catholic school with a military tradition. Ladies and gentlemen, St. Catherine's Academy. Moving into position, the United States Coast Guard Maritime Safety and Security Team. This is the impressive 29-foot response boat Small from Los Angeles Long Beach, showcasing the Coast Guard's commitment to maritime safety and security. This is a very versatile vessel, a vital asset in search and rescue missions, law enforcement, environmental protection efforts, all along the California coast. Advanced capabilities and a skilled crew. This boat playing a crucial role ensuring the safety of the waters and the communities they serve. Followed closely by the United States Coast Guard Port Security Unit 311. Commissioned in May 1995, Port Security Unit 311 located on Terminal Island. It's the Coast Guard's dedicated rapid response expeditionary force, uniquely reserve only, ladies and gentlemen, responding to natural disasters. And they're towing the 32-foot Generation 4 transportable port security boat.
Hi, I'm Richard Ranger, and I'm a petty officer with the United States Coast Guard, and thank you for watching the Armed Forces Day Parade, and it is great to be here. Thank you for supporting the Coast Guard as well as all the armed forces, and I know that it is great to be here at the parade. I'll never forget last year's parade when we were the honored service and got to see our Master Chief get promoted to Master Chief of the Coast Guard, and it was quite a good memory.
United States Coast Guard, Auxiliary Sea Dory 255 Tomcat. This is the Tomcat, the vessel Odessa II, owned by Commodore Al Verde. A 25-foot 2007 Sea-Doo 255 Tomcat equipped with a navigation suite. The Odessa II is the 2024 Silver Award National Winner for the Association for Rescue at Sea. Right behind him, the personal watercraft, the Day Tripper, also owned by Commodore Al Verde. These are Sea-Doo Fish Pros. They are converted for search and rescue, equipped with a full navigation suite and 2 VHF radios. And these are the Beach Cities Cadet Squadron, 107 Knights Civil Air Patrol. Beach Cities Cadet Squadron 107 Knights, an active part of the South Bay for over 77 years. Civil Air Patrol, a nonprofit organization chartered by Congress, the official civilian auxiliary of the United States Air Force. Their task is emergency services, aerospace education, and they also have a cadet program offering teenagers ages 12 to 20 training in aerospace knowledge. And by the way, behind the color guard there, they're towing one of the vehicles, a glider used by cadets for flight training, based at the Los Alamitos Armed Forces Reserve Center, offering cadets the opportunity to obtain their sailplane pilot's license. Ladies and gentlemen, approaching the podium, the Sons of the American Revolution. Colors being presented by the California Society of the Sons of the American Revolution, joined by members of the Daughters and Children of the American Revolution. Each member of the DAR, SAR, and CAR are descendants of one or more patriots who helped to secure our freedom from England during the Revolutionary War. All three nonprofit, nonpartisan organizations dedicated to promoting patriotism and preserving American history. Ladies and gentlemen, the DAR, SAR, and CAR would like to remind everyone that our nation's 250th anniversary is only 2 years away. Now's the time to refresh yourself for the many events leading up to the Declaration of Independence. The Sons of the American Revolution. And last but not least, the 1st North Carolina Civil War reenactors. The 1st North Carolina Cavalry is an American Civil War reenacting group seeking to honor the memories of the soldiers, both North and South, that fought between the wars of the states. In addition to reenactments, the 1st North Carolina provides living history and presentation at schools and other venues throughout California and surrounding states. Round of applause, please. And ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank you once again for joining us for the 62nd Annual Armed Forces Day Parade. I'm Emmett Miller. Have a wonderful afternoon.